So look at verse 21. This is the ESV. Tell me, you who desire to be under the law, do you not listen to the law? Now, we all know that your average Christian commentary is going to tell us that under the law here means to be under subjection to keeping the Torah. And within that limited understanding, or that interpretation of Galatians, they're going to come to a conclusion that Paul is going to forbid these Gentiles from taking on Torah observance in addition to faith in Jesus, because that would be faith plus works equals salvation. But I think that while that is a good and well-meaning application that we can walk away with from a spiritual perspective, it's not the best historical way to understand the passage, and to be sure, it does a disservice to the Torah itself, because I don't think that Paul needs to combat that type of theology at this point in time. Let's see what I have to say in my commentary. As we've already discussed elsewhere in this commentary, the phrase under the law can carry with it a variety of meanings, each depending on the specific context in which it is found. And I say in my commentary that here, the phrase likely refers to Jewish status as desired by those Gentiles wishing to please the huckstering influencers. So, tell me, you who want to be under the law, viz., you who want to be counted as legally recognized Jews in the community of Israel. This is what the phrase under the law could mean here. Those of you who desire to take on legal Jewish status, do you not listen to the law? Now, there's another way we could be reading this phrase under the law. Instead of saying taking on legal Jewish status, the phrase under the law there, it could alternately, as I say in my context, since in ancient Israel, as with today, to be a good Jew means to also be faithful to the Torah. Paul could also be saying, tell me, you who want to be in subjection to the Torah lifestyle as adjudicated by the halakha of the influencers. Okay? Understand there's two different ways we could read under the law there. So, this halakha that we're discussing, the halakha of the influencers, specifically this particular works of the law, this particular spin on Torah observance, as we've discussed elsewhere and as we've discovered from extra biblical sources, was staunchly against allowing Gentiles to come into close community proximity for fear of the pagan defilement they supposedly transmitted. Thus, to conform to the halakha of the influencers would mean to have to eventually reject Gentile Christian fellowship, something Peter succumbed to in chapter 2, which we read about around verses, say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 in chapter 2, but it's something that Paul would have nothing to do with.